watching the best. Fox 10 News at 9.
And now at 9, we're going to find out what the state is doing to help those who remain out of work get the unemployment benefits they desperately need. Also, we check in on a Valley Fire Department welcoming 8 new additions to the family in a spectacular photo. Plus, how a number of local music venues in town are rallying to help one another.
I thought he was going to hit the house, and he was spinning. And evidently he went over here.
Stopping, frightening, sad video out of Mesa today as a helicopter spins wildly out of control, crashing into a park just off of US 60. Witnesses watched it all happen just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. One person on board died, another was injured. The crash site again at a park just off of US 60 in Stapley. The park would typically be filled with people at this time of year. All of this happened just feet from a neighborhood full of homes. Fox 10's Justin Lum joins us live from Mesa with the latest tonight. This was really hard to watch, that video, and then to watch paramedics working on the victim, feverishly trying to save his life this afternoon.
Definitely, John. It has been a long day, but now the wreckage has been towed away. The scene is clear. The NTSB and FAA now taking over this investigation. Residents here are shaken up after watching this crash unfold right in front of them. Many rushed out to help, but for one of the men on board, it was too late.
He was right over the house. I thought he was going to hit the houses down here. He was low and he was spinning.
Spinning out of control, one witness caught the falling helicopter on video from the freeway moments before it crashed into Sherwood Park.
We watched the tail rotor just come off, and it wasn't like in the movies where the helicopter starts spinning immediately. This guy, he managed to maintain control all the way up to this park right here before he did yank the stick to try to slow down coming down, and that's when he spun out and just lost control right there. This
mother says she was with her baby when she could feel the impact approaching from inside her home.
Like, our house was shaking and it was the loudest thing, and I knew it was some kind of plane or helicopter crashing, and I was just like praying, like, please don't crash into our house, because it felt like it was so close to us.
Still in shock, she says her husband and neighbors ran out to the wreckage.
When they pulled him out, I knew he was not going to make it.
Mesa police say one man died at the scene. Another man on board was conscious and went to the hospital. His injuries are unknown. The FAA says the helicopter is a Bell Huey UH-1H. Flight records show it flew out of Blythe, California just before 3 this afternoon. The crash happened about an hour later. The cause unknown.
This is something that the NTSB and the FAA will have to conduct an investigation to determine. Right now it's just barely evolving.
Dozens of people gathered around the taped-off park, staring at pieces of the helicopter.
I've never even imagined watching something like this. I never want to. This is awful.
Unfortunately, with many staying home due to COVID-19, there weren't many people at the park until the crash actually happened, so no injuries to report. Live in Mesa, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
We've got another Fox 10 News alert out of Gilbert. Firefighters responding this evening to a drowning call at a home near Higley and Riggs. That's where a 2-year-old girl was found in a pool and without a pulse. She was rushed to the hospital. We're working to get an update on her condition. The number of confirmed COVID cases in Arizona now topping 6,000. The number of deaths has jumped up now to 266, up 17 from yesterday. 82 deaths reported since Monday. The health department says a recent increase likely because of a surge of cases weeks ago. They believe that should slow down because hospitalizations are leveling off, and it often takes weeks for a critically ill patient to die after they're hospitalized. Earlier today, President Trump signing a COVID-19 Relief Act into law, $484 billion, that will help employers and hospitals under stress from the pandemic. Anchoring this bill, the Trump administration's $250 billion request to replenish a fund to help small and medium-sized businesses with payroll, rent, and other expenses. The entertainment industry has not been spared by the pandemic. New music venues across the country are now pulling together to try to get help from Congress. Fox 10's Matt Galka live with that story tonight. Matt?
Yeah, John, the marquee behind me here at the Rebel Lounge on Indian School and 22nd Street typically has band names and dates that they'll be playing here at the venue. Well, it hasn't been that way for about a month, and there's no telling when it'll be like that again. But the venue's owner, well, he's trying to organize a national effort to make sure that businesses like his don't die.
Revenue is down to zero. Yeah, we've been closed since March 14th, I think, was our last show.
It's tough to make money at a concert venue when you can't have people at the shows. Rebel Lounge owner Stephen Chilton says music venues have been feeling the pain around the country with a much more uncertain future.
Venues and places of mass gatherings are going to have a harder time than a lot of businesses in this, because we were the first businesses to close, and we almost certainly will be the last businesses to reopen.
But Chilton will at least try to shape the future. He sits on the board of the newly formed National Independent Venue Association.
We now have 900 members in all 50 states and D.C.
The goal? Get Congress to help venues survive.
We're working on lobbying Congress for aid in the next stimulus bill that's specific for music venues.
Because nobody knows when things will get back to normal. A business that relies on a packed house needs to get the go-ahead to pack the house.
We hope they're shoulder to shoulder in here, you know. A lot of nights they're not, but we hope they are. Yeah, and so we're just looking for guidance or best practices, or how do we, you know, I think everyone needs to know that we're all concerned with not opening until we can do it safely.
And Chilton tells me he's canceled more than 100 gigs, but he's hopeful that something could be salvaged for the year. If it can't, that number, that more than 100 gig number, is expected to skyrocket for him. We're live tonight. Matt Galka, Fox 10 News.
Some Valley area businesses extending their closures. Talking Stick Resort and Casino will remain closed now through the end of May. They originally planned to reopen at the end of the month. That's been pushed back. Those who had reservations at Talking Stick will be given a full refund. Casino and resort staff continue to be paid. Great Wolf Lodge, not far away from there, extending its temporary closure through mid-June. The resort had originally hoped to open May 19th, but now says in an effort to try to keep everyone safe, that closure will run now through June 15th. Guests with scheduled reservations during the closure, they'll be given a full refund, or they can reschedule for a later date. If you're looking for more information on the outbreak, Fox 10 has created a great website. Everything you need in one place. Head to coronavirusnow.com. We're dealing with our first excessive heat watch of the season. Christy's up a little early tonight with the grisly details.
Grizzly, I guess, if you are new to the deserts, but if you've lived here long enough, you know that eventually we just kind of hit the hot temperatures, and often they stick around for a while, and that's kind of what we're going to see here today. We didn't set any records, but there is the chance that we will in coming days. Here's a look at the maps right now. The temperatures that we hit earlier this afternoon, we were close to 100, but didn't quite make it. Sky Harbor, 98 degrees. The record for today is 99. Upper 90s for Buckeye, Goodyear, and Glendale, and then some mid-90s in places like Gateway as well as in Mesa. So in all seriousness, though, this is our first excessive heat warning of the year. Yesterday, this was a heat watch, and it has now been upped to a heat warning. It will be in effect 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday until 7 o'clock at night, and we're going to see temperatures in some of those central and lower desert locations up to 108 degrees. And the valley isn't the only place that's going to be seeing some hot and dangerously warm temperatures. We now have an excessive heat watch that's in effect along the western edge of Mojave County, so all the area that's highlighted in red, essentially down the Colorado River Valley. This is a long stretch of days, one after the next, of watches. Sunday all the way through Thursday. Sunday and Monday, we're looking at 100 to 104 degrees for the afternoon high. And guys, Tuesday through Thursday, we're looking at daily highs between 102 and 108. And even right here in Phoenix, we could be setting some new records for the month of April with the type of heat we're going to be seeing. So a full look at that 10-day forecast is coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, Christy, thanks. Traffic alert to tell you about: parts of eastbound and westbound I-10 will be shut down for maintenance over the weekend at the Deck Park Tunnel. Eastbound lanes just closed at 9 o'clock tonight. They will reopen tomorrow morning at 9. Then on Saturday, they'll flip it over. Maintenance on the westbound lanes also from 9 p.m. until 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Still ahead at 9, a Valley Fire Department celebrating a bunch of bundles of joy. Coming up next, the station welcoming the newest members of their family. Also, a Valley restaurant taking a new approach to helping its employees. We'll tell you how you can help. Plus, we check in on some great horned owls just born in Arizona.
Whenever you wake up, we hope you'll join us for AZAM.
So the Arizona Department of Health Services has lifted restrictions on COVID-19 testing. So now anyone who thinks they may have been exposed can be tested.
Rustler's Roost, just an iconic spot in the Valley, having a big fundraiser this weekend.
This is a smoking deal right here. For 35 bucks, you get all this ready to go in a container. You take it home, come out and support our staff. And
Chef Frank, we support you.
Maybe a Friday movie night is in store for you and your family.
I have a couple of suggestions, and we're going to go back in time on this. The first is Mary Poppins. The second one is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
We'll see you Monday, starting at 4:30 a.m.
You're watching Fox 10 News at 9 with John Hook and Carrie Lake.
Well, there are photo shoots, and then there's this, which is a whole nother level. And they do it every year. Newest members of the Glendale Fire Department, the crew welcoming 8 new babies onto the team. And they got them all together not long ago to capture the moment on camera. And it is special. Fox 10 Stephanie Olmo live with the story. Steph?
John, we're talking about a lot of tiny, little cute members at Glendale Fire. This is a tradition that started back 3 years ago, and they plan on carrying out this tradition for as long as they can.
We're a family, and it started to dawn on me.
It started up as an idea.
We've got a few babies, and I just put the idea out to the membership. Would anybody be interested in doing this? And I got a lot of people that were interested, and that's how the first year happened.
Ashley Losh with Glendale Fire started to make it a tradition. Every year, she reaches out to firefighters in all the 9 stations to do a photo shoot of the newest members of the family.
I think it's great to have mementos of your career, and our kids are involved in our work, whether they like fire stations. Easters are spent here, birthdays, so they truly are part of our fire family.
This year they did a photo shoot with 8 little ones, the babies 18 months old or younger.
Make sure your baby's happy, lay him down on the count of 3, jump out of the shot, and Ryan gets the shot.
The man in charge of taking the photos, Lieutenant Ryan Orrell with Glendale PD.
I think is really cool and very, have a lot of sentimental value and memories and stuff. Knowing exactly where you were at the time in a fire station, on your parents' jackets as you grow up.
Firefighting may bring these men and women together, but it's these tiny little members that will bond these families for life.
As the kids grow up, we share such a special bond. We're a very tight group of people, and to see those kids grow together and to be able to look back and say, oh, look, we didn't even know this happened, but we had our picture taken at the firehouse when we were just tiny kids. It's very cool.
Now, in case that photo was taken before, Ashley tells me that she's thinking about doing a toddler photo shoot in the next couple of years. Reporting live, I'm Stephanie Olmo, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Steph. Valley Restaurants doing what they can to try to stay in business during the pandemic. One of them in Glendale, the Cuff Restaurant, had to shift its business model to make sure that they could keep their staff and keep paying them. Fox 10 photojournalist Joe Tillman shows us how it's working.
Today we are taking a 50-person lunch order to Banner Thunderbird. This is sponsored by the Cardinals. So the Cardinals reached out to us and to provide a lunch to the first responders and the nurses, and we're going to go over to the hospital here in a little bit and drop it all off. Hello, my name is Zaya. I'm the front of house manager here at Cuff Downtown Bistro here in downtown. So Cuff has been here for about 5 years now in downtown Glendale, and I guess we're going on about 4 weeks of the stay-at-home order, so we've been doing takeout and delivery only. We have a small enough staff, and we treat them like family, so we were able to keep everybody on, and that's a big reason why have been seeking help. So applying for government loans and making the GoFundMe to offer a way to help keep the staff paid as normally as possible. We all know how dire the situation is for small businesses. So our customers show just overwhelming support and concern for the staff because we depend on this to make our living. We're always well-being, community as a whole, but interest of keeping everybody safe and healthy.